Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome back to the TFDI design MD-11. It's been a little while since we've touched this aircraft, and in the meantime a lot has happened in the alpha version of the Collector's Edition honors, and by now it is feature complete. Now let's first of all define what feature complete actually means before we are going into this flight, so that we can set our expectations straight over here right from the beginning onwards. So feature complete means that all the features that they intend to include in the product have been added to the product. It does not mean that those features are bug-free or that the product is all of a sudden in a finished release state. It is not. But nonetheless, what it does mean is that they have added everything they wanted to add. Now they just gotta iron out the bugs and polish the entire thing. So, what do I expect from this flight then? Why am I doing it at all? Well, basically I'm expecting that we can get an idea of how TFDI envisions the final aircraft to be. It's not going to be perfect, I don't expect that at all, but what I do expect is that we will end up somewhere getting an idea of, hey, this is our vision for the product. And well, based on that, we can make a decision if it's going to be worth waiting for or if it might end up being a flop. Okay, so let's take a seat on the captain's seat right here in our MD-11. We are standing in Brussels at the moment in the Lufthansa cargo livery of the General Electric powered freighter aircraft, and we're going to fly it over to Frankfurt, which is going to be a quick 45-minute flight. Alright, so that's pretty much all there is to it, so let's go right inside. Now, I said we're going to take a seat on the captain's seat here. Actually, we do have to go over to the first officer's seat, because the first officer is going to run the initial cockpit preparation procedure, including stuff like the electrical power-up. We're later going to change to the captain's seat when the first officer's procedure is finished. Okay, so the logbook is checked, the circuit breakers are all in. There's just loads of them in this aircraft. Okay, the emergency equipment's checked, weather radar is verified to be off. The fuel switches are all off, the parking brake is, let's see. Well, that's the set position right down here. Okay, so the parking brake is set. The spoilers and flap slat handle is up, and the landing gear handle is down. Okay, so fuel dump and manifold drain switches, those are located right down here, are armed. The emergency power selector is in the off position, and the battery switch can now go on. Okay, and this is where things are going to get interesting. So sounds have been added to the aircraft, so I'll just be quiet for a moment so that you can listen to them as we power the airplane up. Okay, releasing the push button, and here we go. Our aircraft is now running. Now, from here on, we could go ahead and start up the APU straight away, and well, since it's 15 degrees outside, I have a feeling a little bit of APU is definitely not going to hurt over here. So first of all, close those batteries once again. And, well, the APU panel is located right up here, so APU start stop button, we'll press it, you can see that it's flashing, so the APU is starting to run up. APU indication located right down here, so we can see that the thing is slowly powering up. Okay then, so let's go ahead and turn on the IRSs. You can see that does run the cargo fire test up here once again. Okay, and then we can do the initialization. So we'll go to the FMC, we've got the MD-11F with the CF6 engines, and the nav database is current. Okay. So, flight plan in it, and we are going from Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo towards Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. Okay, the coordinates are good, so we're going to initialize the GPS. Okay, so then let's go over the cockpit. So, starting from right up here, the IRSs should be in alignment now. APU power is available. We'll keep it on the external power as long as possible though. And APU bleed is coming on. Okay, so basic cockpit setup. Just going over every system, making sure that everything is as it should be. Engine ignition off light on should be like that. Okay, so going up we can run the hydraulic system test, which is now going to commence automatically. If we do have a look at the hydraulic page, then we can actually see that it is ongoing, but it is going to take a while, so I'm not going to bother too much watching it. Okay, so, electrical system, emergency power can come on, or rather can go armed. There's nothing on the air conditioning system that we gotta do, nothing on the fuel system that we gotta do, except for actually fueling the airplane up, but we'll do that in a few moments. And then going to the right hand side, over here once again, there's not really all that much that we gotta do. Okay, so fueling is still to come. Annunciator light test. Is looking good. Then we get down to the light panel, arm the emergency lights, arm the no smokings, turn on the seat belts, and the nav lights can come on. Everything else is going to stay off for now. Okay then, so traffic can come on, airports can come on, and well, I do believe that's pretty much it over here. Maybe VOR1, VOR2. Okay, so you can see hydraulic pressure test is in progress down here. We'll do the, I'll call it FCU, I'll use the Airbus term here, my apologies. We'll do the FCU a little bit later, and then going down here, auto brake can go into the takeoff position, like that. 1 to 2.8, perfect, and on VHF2 we'll make it 1 to 1.5. Like so. And that's going active. We are transmitting VHF1 and we're listening to VHF1 and 2. Like that. Okay, weather radar, we'll turn on weather and turbulence. Transponder, standby, and we'll put it in the above position already. And that's it. Okay. Trims. Ooh, that's a lot of aileron. Wait a moment, that indicator is broken, is it? Never ever we are on full aileron trim. Rudder trim is neutral? Okay. Well, we'll have to see about the aileron trim. We will have to see about it. Might be that I just mistrimmed it there. Weather radar on. Okay. How do we get that off? Can we just deselect it like in a Boeing? No, weather radar is still on. Okay, off. That's it. Alright, that's better. Very cool. So, then let's go back to the engine page. APU operating at 50%. Okay. Not 100% sure why, but I'm not saying it's incorrect, okay? Maybe it just powers up further when it gets under electrical load. I could well imagine that to be the case. Alright, so now that the first officer's inspection is done, let's go over to the captain's panel and, well, we'll start a little bit on the electronic flight back over here before we do the FMS setup, because a lot of stuff has changed here since the last time we've been using it. Alright, so let's go ahead and have a look. We start on the options page, just having a look at all the different options that are available by now. Remember, it's feature complete, so even though not everything might work at this moment, at least everything should be here. So, brightness, weight units, temperature units, well, all that good stuff. Now this one's interesting here. Manpad defense system. Now, a manpad is a man-carried portable air defense unit, like the things you see in Ukraine shooting down Russian fighters. I'm not exactly sure why you would fit a manpad to an MD-11, but who knows. Okay, so extended range option, that's probably the one that's only for collector's edition owners. So, well, we'll keep it at that. On top of that, you can add your SimBrief and your hobby lock-on code. I've left the hobby code out because obviously I don't want to publish my lock-on code here. So if any hobby-related feature is not working in this video, then you know why. Okay, in terms of systems, we do have lots of options over here. I don't think I need to say a lot about them. You can see those. Alright, now, in terms of the CAWS, that's the electronic callout, I'm just going to enable all of them. Not 100% sure why you would disable them by default, but, well, actually I did turn them on before I loaded up the flight, so it looks like it didn't save those settings. Not a problem. Alright, and then getting to the performance tabs, we're just going to keep everything as it is over here. So save that. This, I do believe it was saved. Now it's saved anyway. Alright, apart from that, we can load an airplane state over here, and we can even set some as default. On the services tab, we got things like we can operate the passenger doors, the cargo doors, and so on. So let's go ahead and open a couple of them and see what it looks like. Alright. So, neat outside sounds, I have to say. In general, the sounds they added to the aircraft since I did my last video with it, they do make a good first impression on me. We'll see how they are during the flight, but my first impression is a pretty good one, I have to say. Okay, so, let's go check the other cargo doors here. We've got the aft cargo door open. Not the forward one, I thought I opened that. Cargo, one right, okay. Gotta open that as well. Here it comes. Alright. So then, let's go right back inside. These are the options we have here. Apart from that, the nose weight, that's an interesting one. Basically, the MD-11 is a rather tail-heavy aircraft with the engine sitting here behind the gear. So, basically what could happen here is the plane can tip over onto its back when you've got cargo in the back and the heavy engine and probably some fuel weight as well. I mean, look at the position of the wing compared to the landing gear. All the fuel back here is going to add to an aft center of gravity of the aircraft. And MD-11s are known to tip over onto their backs, and obviously we don't necessarily want that. So, well, that's what you got the nose weight for. Pretty nice to see that modeled. Apart from that, ground power, air start unit and shocks, well, self-explanatory. We do have Navigraph chart integration over here. We'll see how it's going to be. I haven't tried it yet. Likewise, we have a performance calculator, which we're going to look into in a few moments as well. Finally, the payload tab, that is what we're going to use now. And we've got 44,000 kilograms of cargo loaded, or rather we plan to load those. But let's have a look at the dispatch. Over here I can import my SimBrief flight plan, and this is what it looks like. I couldn't see any way how to actually open my actual operational flight plan, but nonetheless you have a lot of nice options down here, which we are surely going to look at in a few moments. So, block fuel, they say 12,900, and the cargo I inserted was 44,000 kilos. So let's take the 44,000, we'll go with 15 tons of fuel, because, well, you know, better have it than need it. Okay, so, especially with an aircraft that you're not so familiar with. Okay then, so, all of that good stuff done, I suppose we are going to set the nav display up, and then we'll go right into the FMS. Let's see how that is going to look like. if we go into the ACAS pages for a moment, we can't really do anything here, because my hobby code is not entered. But let's see if we are maybe able to request some weather information or stuff like that. But looks like I cannot actually send the request, which is expected since I couldn't insert my hobby code here for the video. But very nice to see that this stuff is done. This does very much look promising. Okay, so we will go into the FMC then. That is where the important part is located. So Brussels to Frankfurt we said already, and our alternate is going to be Hahn. Now, flight number is going to be Lufthansa Cargo 8244. Cruising at flight level 230, and the cost index is 80. Onto the flight plan menu then. So we are departing Brussels today on a sit from runway 25 right, which we have down here. And the routing, can we see that in here? Yeah, Sprimont 3 Golf departure. Let's see if we can find that. Here we go, Sprimont 3 Golf. And insert. And that's what it initially looks like. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. So, further routing then is going to be via Tango 180 towards Nivnu. So, Sprimont. Airways. Via Tango 180. We proceed towards Nivnu. Like that. Insert. And from Nivnu we continue via Tango 847 towards Imcom. Non-database. Oh, Tango 847, okay. Can I just overwrite this? No. Okay, well, let's go out and in again. So Tango 847. This is better now, towards Imcom. Alright, looking good. For the approach itself, it's going to be Frankfurt. And it is going to be the ILS Yankee approach, runway 25 right. And here we go. Frankfurt ILS Yankee 25 right, Imcom 1 Alpha arrival. Down here it is. And approach transition Delta Fox 426. Okay, insert. Now let's have a look. If we go to the plan mode, what is that plan going to look like? So starting in Brussels, do have a couple of altitude restrictions in here, which we are surely going to meet. And that's what it looks like. Okay, that's pretty good if you ask me. So let's see if we can actually find a chart for that. So departing Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. Oh, actually, no. Departing Brussels. I'm a little bit too used to work. So, airport. Can we somehow pin that? Doesn't look like it, huh? Okay, well, that's hopefully something they will add with a future version. But let's have a look at the departure then. So we're looking for this Primo departures. Let's see where they are. Sprimont 3 Golf. Here's a Tango, here's a Victor. Lima. Papa. Sprimont 3 Golf on off departure. Here it is. Okay, so straight out to 1700 feet. And then it's gonna be a left-hand turn. Let's see what they say down here. Bravo Romeo 103. Above level 60, so we got 1700. And then waypoint 103. The line drawing can need a little bit of an improvement here, like we are not going to fly 10 miles out to gain 1700 feet, I hope. But apart from that, that's quite okay. Okay, and then via Bravo Romeo 103, we fly on via 105 to Sprimont Vioa. Okay, so pretty much like this. Easy going. Okay, initial climb, clearance, flight level 60. Here we go, flight level 60 is in, and the initial heading is gonna be 250. Okay then, so that good stuff is in for now. Secondary flight plan, we'll simply make it a copy of the active. Okay, then, on to the init page. We'll go on to the weight initialization, so 15 tons is correct for the weight then. Let's see what we have. Payload, gross weight, that's 191 tons. So let's make that 191 on the takeoff gross weight. Zero fuel weight 176.2. 176 in here seems correct. Fuel 15,000. And that's what we have. Okay, so the only thing I would like to know now is my center of gravity. But let's see, if we go into the performance calculation, maybe we can get it somewhere over there. We'll see about it. Otherwise, we can just take it from the from right down here. So 27.9 and 27.2, and that's it. Okay, next page. I don't think we need to add anything over here. But the refuel just reminds me, we have finished our refueling, so we're going to do the fuel used reset down here. Okay, looking good. Next up then, we can just quickly check our performance pages. There is not really much to do over here, so next page. And, well, not much to do there. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate our takeoff performance. We're departing Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. The runway is going to be 25 right. We'll get the weather information. And here we go. Slight tailwind, not much of a problem. Okay, so get takeoff weight. Thrust setting flags, anti-ice no, optimum speeds, no specific flaps, packs, yeah, we'll keep them on because why not? Hit calculate. 34, 36, 52, flags 59 at 25 flaps. Not 100% sure that you should have that much of a flap setting here, but, well. Can we change that somehow? Well, flaps specific. Let's say I want to do a flaps 10 takeoff. 34, 45, 63. Well, let's do that, because, hey, why not? Okay, so, flags 59 degrees. Packs will be on. Flaps 10. Runway slope and wind 0 and -2. And the OAT is 14 centigrade. So 14C you gotta enter in here. Okay. Climb thrust acceleration. Let's change that acceleration. I want to go at 1675. Okay, check confirm V-speeds. So we have 34, 45, 63. And those are within 1 knot, so I am just going to confirm the FMS speeds over here. Okay, and that's it. With that, our FMS setup should pretty much be completed. Well then, QNH is 1016. Let's go ahead and set that real quick. 1016, set once, twice, and 3 times. And then FMS speed, nav, and profile are armed. And I do believe that's it. We go back to the map mode over here. Okay. That does look good to me. Let's see if we missed anything. Cockpit preparation checklist. System display status page. I believe that's that one. Checked, and all those warnings are associated with our condition of flight. Okay, hydraulic panel. auto, fuel panel, auto, exterior lights, set. So, evac command, well, we're in a freighter, we don't have that in here. Takeoff warning system, well, that one used to have some problems. I'm not gonna try it now, just because I don't want to ruin the entire flight, you know. Okay, rudder and aileron trims. Yeah, so aileron trim, a bit of a problem here still, because that's just stuck. But we'll see what happens. What does it actually look like from the outside? No aileron input at all. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens with the aileron trim. We are mentally prepared that we might need to apply a little bit of aileron after takeoff. Okay, FMS, checked and set. So, flap takeoff selector, 10, FCP, set, IRS, taxi, and auto brake, takeoff. That's the cockpit preparation checklist complete. Okay, that was quite easy, I have to say. So, well, let's go ahead and see what is going to happen. So, we'll put it over on APU power. We'll turn off the external power. Our park and brake is set. So, well, first of all, we'll call for GSX. Prepare for pushback and departure. Handling by Belgium Airport Service. Okay, so we can close all those doors. GPU disconnect, wheel chocks remove. I wonder why the nose wheel is deflected like that. I surely hope that that is not going to remain a problem. I surely hope that that's just a temporary bug. Otherwise our flight is going to be over pretty quickly. But okay, that's all our ground equipment removed. We'll go back to the charts and give me the airport chart, please. Here it is. So quick versional briefing, we're parking up here. Takeoff runway is going to be 25 right, so pushback with the nose to the right hand side, taxi November 2, Alpha 6, cross 25 right, and then we taxi via the outers up here to Bravo 1 for our departure. And well, we basically talked about the SID already, so I'm not going to add anything there. Okay, any questions? No? Excellent. Okay, well, then let's go ahead. So, before start procedure, doors and windows are closed. Auxiliary 1 hydraulic pump on. Park and brake set. Okay. Beacon on, ignition A. Fuel panel. Well, it's an automatic, so nothing we need to do. Okay, the air panel is an automatic, and before start checklist. So, windows and doors closed, park and brake set, beacon on, engine ignition A, fuel panel auto, air panel auto, before start checklist complete. Ground from cockpit, go ahead. Well, should work more like this. Ground from cockpit, go ahead. Please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed, Captain. Roger. We are cleared for pushback, runway 25 right, park and brake set. Roger. Release park and brake, please. Park and brake released, clear to push, let us know when we can start the engines. Roger. Okay, and we're going. So it's 3 engines we need to start. That means a little bit of work there. So let's go ahead and go right for it. Okay. Well then, start sequence is going to be 2, 3, 1 if I'm not mistaken here. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Starting number... Well, actually the sequence is 312, that way around. Okay. Starting number 3. So you can hear the bleed air just went off. And 2 is increasing. We have 15%. Fuel on. Gives us a master caution. Engine 3 oil pressure low. And that's going away. A couple of hydraulic pump faults still. But well, system is on automatic, so hopefully that should solve itself soon. Starter cutout. Monitor 3, starting 1. Engine 1 start. %. Fuel coming on. Okay, we got some hydraulic warnings here again. But for number 3 they went away already, so it's probably just related to the engine start. And we've got push complete, set park and brakes. Park and brake set, you're clear to remove all ground equipment, stand by for the engine starts. And we're starting engine number 2. Engine 2 start. %. Fuel switch on. Okay, where is our ground equipment? Probably done already, are they? Ah, no. Committing suicide. Okay. Well, don't do that, guys. There are better ways. Guys, if you're in danger of suicide, call for help. Don't do what this guy is doing. And our nose wheel is correctly aligned as well now, so that must probably just have been a thing during the actual engine start, so, or rather during the parking, so nothing to worry about. Okay, cool. So we've got 3 good starts. Engine anti-ice is not needed and off. Air control panel and APU. You switch off the APU bleed, and all the lights are going off. Hydraulic panel is all blank. Okay, ground equipment and gear pins are removed. After start, checklist please. Anti-ice, off, air panel, auto. APU. Is that actually automatically going off? No. Okay. So, APU, off, hydraulic panel, auto. Ground equipment and gear pins removed, cabin report received, and that's the after start checklist complete. Okay, then let's go for taxi. Taxi light on, we're clear on the left side, we're clear on the right side. Taxi is as briefed, straight ahead, first to the right, and then we are going to cross the runway, and that's actually the hotspot that we have on our taxi route. Okay. Park and brake off. A little bit of power. Brake check. And the brakes are working. Excellent. So it looks like we do need a little bit of continuous thrust over here in order to get the airplane moving properly. Let's go to idle power now. Okay then, flaps 10. So here we go, flaps are deploying. I still find it interesting that they have the flap indicator on the primary flight display. So, spoilers. That's interesting, I cannot actually arm the spoilers. Is there any hidden click spot or anything here? Well, let's first do the flight control tracks then. So we've got full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. Okay, clear to cross runway 25 right. There's no traffic over there, and there is no traffic over there. Okay, so rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Okay, so now in idle it's actually accelerating a little bit still. That's quite good. Alright, let's break it down a little bit. 29 knots might be a bit fast to go into that turn over here. So, what are these AI guys doing over there? That surely does look like it's gonna get expensive. Oh well, he's turning away. Okay. Well, that's probably better that way. Okay, so, just gotta find out about the spoilers here. There must be some hidden click spot for those. If only there was a manual available yet where that kind of stuff would be mentioned. But when I click on them, nothing happens at all. Okay, well, then we'll just continue with the taxi for now, and we'll care about the spoilers later. Okay, apart from that, you can see even in idle thrust we got all the way back up to 30 knots already, so very easy going over here. And I do have to say that that does seem believable to me. Let's also have a listen from the outside. I could definitely go back to the center line, I do agree on that. Overall, the fact that the plane accelerates on idle thrust does certainly seem believable to me. The A330 does it, the 777 does it. I would absolutely not be surprised if the MD-11 does as well. Even though I do have to add that I don't have any actual data to confirm that. So the windsock pretty much still matches what we have set up, or rather what we prepared for with the light tailwind component. That is fine. So, Primo 3 Golf departure. We can prepare that sit chart, and then we'll just stop here for a second. Okay, park and brake is set. So let's just see what there is left to do. If you go into the performance, we don't actually get any trim value in here. But okay, on the FMS it says step trim should be 4 units. Let's go ahead and trim that up. Here we go. So now all that we gotta worry about is that speed brake over here, which we gotta try and arm somehow. I mean, we can deploy it. That's interesting. Okay, so the arm selector is right down there. But there doesn't seem to be a click spot for it. I don't know. If you know how to operate those speed brakes, then do let me know. I mean, we are going to cause the takeoff config warning when we start the takeoff like that. You can see down here that, well, right now it's brakes, but it's definitely going to be the speed brake as well that it's monitoring. But okay, so be it. Well, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what else there is in the taxi checklist, or rather in the taxi procedure. So, stabilizer trim is set, takeoff data is confirmed, cabin report is received, and takeoff and departure briefing. Well, so most important point on the briefing over here. Why does it say ABS disarmed? Okay, that's better. Auto brake is armed again. So most important point in our briefing down here is that we are going to get the takeoff config warning when we conduct our takeoff. In case we reject, we have to manually deploy the speed brakes, since automatic mode is not available. Apart from that, straight ahead 1700, we are going to use the autopilot rather early because I want to see how the airplane is going to perform. And, well, we have checked pretty much everything. Weather is good. There is no traffic around as far as I can see. Not on 07, not on 25. Well, they're departing 01 it seems, the AI. Okay. In that case, let's just use the TCAS to see what there is around us. Guys are approaching runway 01, and that's it. Okay, let's go for the taxi checklist then. So flaps, 10, spoilers, well, not armed. Flight controls, checked. Step trim is 4 units. Takeoff data, confirmed and set. Taxi checklist complete. So, apart from that, can we just see about that trim again? No, we can't. Stuck all the way to the left. Can we maybe see about that on the flight control page? No. Is there any other page where we get information about our trim? Well, ain't gonna be on any of these. Okay, well, so we lift off and we see what's going to happen. Probably going to get the takeoff config warning. Not 100% sure on how to get rid of that at the moment. So, what else is there? Oh! I found it out. Got a scroll on it. Well, okay. Suppose that works. And in that case, the taxi checklist is now actually complete. Okay. Well, that was interesting. So, by strolling on it, you can arm the speed brake. Okay, good to know. Well, okay. Let's go right on to the let's go right into the lineup procedure then. Parking brake is off. These strobe lights are on anyway. The rest of the lights is coming on. There is no cabin crew that we would have to sit down. Okay, so weather radar is coming on. And let's actually go ahead and display the weather as well. Not that I would actually expect any there, but we'll see. Okay. In that case, let's do the before takeoff checklist. Well, that's not exactly the best turn radius here. A little bit of thrust to help it. Okay, that's better. That's much better. Well, so before takeoff checklist. EAD checked. High intensity and landing lights on. Hydraulic panel, auto. Air panel, auto. And weather radar and transponder on. Before takeoff checklist complete. So, are you ready to go? Take off. Auto flight. That seems to be our aileron trim that we can see there. Let's trim that slightly left. Okay, 100 knots. Checked. We'll focus on the takeoff now. We'll deal with the trim when we're in the air. V1. Rotate. Nose is coming up pretty easily. You can see how little inputs I'm doing on the control column here. Positive climb. Gear up. Well, we still have some aileron trim in. Let's see if the autopilot comes on with that. Yes, it does. Okay, autopilot. That is good. Okay, so reaching 1700, we should start the left turn now. Really not sure why it wants to keep going there. Okay, acceleration. So, flaps up. And slats retract. And here we go, slats are up. Okay, then we'll continue our climb to flight level 230. Here we go. Really don't know why it's flying here. Let's go direct. And maybe just go a little bit further. Direct Primo, enter. This is definitely the easier way to do this. Okay, after takeoff checklist. Landing gear and lights, up and off, air panel, auto, spoiler handle, disarmed, auto brake, off, flap slats, up retracted, hydraulic panel, auto, fuel panel, auto, EAD, checked, seatbelts on, exterior lights set, altimeters, well, set standard. Standard cross-check passing flight level 83 now. After takeoff checklist complete. Let's update that direct once more. Direct 2, Sierra Papa India, insert. That certainly feels like a Boeing. Okay, passing 10,000. Lights off, and that good stuff is done. Well, not really that much more to do here when passing 10, so here we go. On the way. Let's watch how the autopilot is going to handle the plane then. We are sure enough getting wonderful climb rates here, 4,600 feet a minute. 4,500. Oh, okay. And the autopilot is back in. Looks like the smallest touch on my stick is deactivating the autopilot. Now, well, I'm not sure how sensitive the MD-11 should actually be to such things, but I could imagine it to be realistic. For sure, if you do move the controls in a real aircraft while the autopilot is engaged, sooner or later the autopilot is going to come off. So that isn't generally wrong, I would say. Okay then, let's go ahead and take a little tour of the aircraft, see if anything has improved in the cargo area. Can we open the cockpit door by now? Nah, doesn't look like it. I sure hope that that is not part of the feature complete stuff yet, and that they are going to simulate opening of the cockpit door. That would definitely be appreciated. But well, let's just go through it because we can. So the cabin is actually looking pretty good back here. It is getting pretty loud. There's just one little thing that's really worth mentioning, and that is that the back side of the cockpit door doesn't have any textures applied to it. You can look right through it. I mean, passengers would surely love it, at least Flight Simulator fans. But well, apart from that, I do seem to remember that the seating area for the supernumeraries here used to have some issues on earlier versions, so those are solved, it seems. Well, not the very nicest area to sit in when you're accompanying some cargo, but it could certainly be much worse, could it? And when we're going into the cargo cabin, this is what it looks like. Would be nice if they added a couple containers and stuff like that, based on the aircraft's weight. For sure we can see some good modeling up here in the top, especially those lamps over here. Those lights really look beautiful, don't they? That's some really good modeling. Okay, and if we're going back to the front, can we do something here? No. Okay. Alright then, back to the cockpit. So we've got about 1 minute to go for our climb, so that's approaching. Let's see, performance page. Yeah. No predictions over here, but apart from that, do we have the econ speed? It does look believable. Especially for the low cruise level here, Mach 0.741. Seems like a believable number to me. Okay, vertical speed. Hold. Why hold? Is it probably just going into altitude capture mode already? Because we got about 1,000 to go. Well, let's try vertical speed one more time here. So 309 thrust, vertical speed. And plus 1,000 is selected, and it's doing it. That's quite good. It's doing what I would expect it to do. Very nice to see that. $500 to go. Alright, let's watch the level off, and then we're going to start having a look into the approach procedures. Okay, went back in a hold. Hold 23,000, seems believable. Okay. And on a profile, here we go. So, Econ Cruise is now Econ 0.708. That seems believable to me. Alright. So, we're all the way up to cruise. So it looks like we have pretty much a straight-in arrival. What happens quite often in the real world when you are flying this arrival is that they send you direct to Delta Fox 401. So let's do just that. Delta Fox 401, direct to, insert. Top of descent in about 80 nautical miles. That is looking quite good. I do have to say this is looking gorgeous outside with those clouds, isn't it? Overall, really good looking cockpit as well, isn't it? You really get to feel there. I do like it. I do very much like it. Okay, well, before we are losing too much time, let's go ahead and start preparing for our approach. So, I guess, let's see if there is any opportunity for us to actually request some weather without the Hoppy system. ACARS, weather, looking for METAR, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. Just can't send it, it seems. But okay, that's fine. The requests are going to be there, and on the next video I promise I'll have my Hoppy code inserted. So by that time we will be able to see this good stuff. By the way, altitude reporting should have been on, my mistake. So since we're in cruise, the TCAS selector is going to go into below, because now any danger is going to be below us. Okay. Well then, let's start our approach preparation. So Delta Fox 401, flight level 110, that is correct. And that is actually a hard constraint, as we can see. And that matches the chart. Let's actually get the chart out because, well, you know, you're supposed to use charts, after all. Oh. Is that a wind shift? I guess, huh? Sure enough, we didn't do anything that would warrant the airplane doing that, based on our inputs. That must have been a wind shift. Okay. So back to work. Frankfurt, IMCOM 1 Alpha RMP arrival. And if we have a look at that, Delta Fox 401, flight level 110, that's as expected. Into the downwind, and that leads us onto the ILS Yankee approach 25 right. That's Zulu, here it is, Yankee 25 right. So, minimums, Cat Delta aircraft 558. We'll take Barrow minimum here. Surely does take a while to dial that in. Okay, here we go. Minimums 558 is in. Then, frequency 109.75. Let's see. It might still tune that a little bit later, so I'm not going to worry about this for now. For the VORs for our approach, it's basically all RNAV in Frankfurt, so all I'm going to do is to tune Fox Fox Mike in VOR number 2, and we'll take the one nearest to us in the front, and that is looking good. Frankfurt Main, 108 miles, that does make sense. Okay. So, checking the flight plan then. Important thing here is going to be here, Delta Fox 430, that's our final approach fix, 5,000 feet, 3.2 degree glide slope. That's not written in here, okay. I'm not sure if it should, so not gonna comment on that, whether it's correct or not. So, for our missed approach, let's have a look. It's gonna be Delta Fox 393, max 220 above 920 feet. That's what we have. Then Delta Foxtrot 483, max 220 above 1850. And that's what we have. Delta Fox 484, max 250, 4130. Again, that is what we have. And then with a right-hand turn, Mike Tango Romeo, max 250, mandatory 5000, and that's what we have. Okay, excellent, and that's the end of our flight plan. On the progress page then, let's see. Destination, distance to go 191. Yeah, that's actually, that is believable with the entire transition in there. That does make sense, yeah. Okay, estimated fuel on board 9.3. Currently we have 11.8. Let's calculate a little bit more. So for the landing weight, let's say we're using about 1,000 kilos. Then we are conservative here. Apart from that, estimating 401 at 1348. Does that make sense? Yeah? 11 minutes. That does make sense. Okay. So, RTA progress page. Let's just see if something is implemented over here. Delta Fox 401. Yeah. Well, a little bit. Okay, so on the RatNav, well, not gonna tune anything in the ILS. Let's see if it's going to auto-tune it, or if we have to do that stuff manually. Let's see, on the descent page, 330 knots on Mach 0.7. Yeah, that does look okay to me. We can certainly do that. Descent forecast. Well, we probably have to request that, but well, the wind is 16 knots. It's not going to do much of a difference whether we enter that or not. Okay, excellent. So on the fixed page then, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot 25 right. Let's see if it knows that. No, then we probably just take the airport itself. Like that. Looking good. Okay, and then maybe we can insert a ring here, 25 miles. No. Let's see what we just did. Yeah, that's our 25-mile ring. Nice. Okay, secondary flight plan once again. Well, clear and copy. And takeoff approach. Now this is where things do get more interesting, huh? Okay, so, flat 35 landing looks good to me. Do we have a landing calculator in here? Performance? Yes, we do. Neat. Okay, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. Runway is going to be 25 right. It's a dry runway. Get the weather for me, please. 300 at 5, light headwind, 15 degrees, 1012. Okay, that's excellent. So we said we're using a ton, so our landing weight is going to be 180... Yeah, make that 187, then we are conservative. Okay, auto brake low, reverses all, flaps 35, calculate. Landing distance available 2,471, we need 2,148, looking good. So auto brake minimum it is. Let's see the go-around page. Nothing interesting here, really. Well, that's it. Okay. So we're about to enter a couple clouds. I do believe engine anti-ice is automatic, though I don't remember if we actually have that installed in here. Let's see. System... Automatic anti-ice disabled. Okay. Then we gotta turn it on manually. Okay, anti-ice system automatic. So do we need to turn it to manual then? I'm not 100% sure if I understand how that works. Automatic anti-ice disabled. Nah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. That's fine. I tell you what, put that back into automatic, and if the plane thinks it needs anti-ice, then we will see if it is going to turn it on. Okay, about to reach our top of descent over here. So we are pretty much set with everything, are we? Might become a little bit turbulent here. Seatbelts going back on. And then we are about to reach our top of descent in a couple miles. Let's do the Descent checklist down to seatbelts, please. So, landing data, checked and set. Windshield anti-ice, off. Minimum is 558. Seatbelts on, holding at altimeters. Okay, reaching our top of descent here. Altitude down to 11,000. Profile is armed as far as I can see. Let's see what's gonna happen. Overflying the top of descent any moment now. Here it is. So, profile to 11,000 has engaged. Or rather, profile 11,000. Now we just gotta wait for VNAV to start descending. I do believe it should do it now. Let's see about it. We got 33 miles to run. We need to lose 12,000 feet. So that's... The top of descent was exactly on the 3 miles per 1,000 feet rule. So that looked okay. Only now I'm wondering why the airplane is not starting the descent. As I do believe that is what it should do now. You can see the descent page is already active. Well, I'll initiate the descent myself here. So, idle. Let's see how our descent performance is actually going to look like. Now this is interesting. We are descending, and now the path is coming down with us. And it just keeps saying path error 0 feet high. I do have a feeling that for some reason VNAV isn't properly implemented yet, but well, feature complete doesn't mean bug free, so this is not surprising at all. Or much rather, this is not something to worry about at all. So, according to the level of arrow, we are going to reach 11,000 just prior Delta Fox 401. That's good. Oh, now the VNAV path jumped away. But it still says path error 0 feet high. Okay, well, I'm not 100% sure what the plane is doing there, but doesn't matter. As long as the arrow is down here where it's supposed to be, I am happy with it. So, no traffic in the area, it seems. And that's it. It's nicely accelerating, as you can see. 330 knots for the descent, and just look at that, man. Overspeed is at 365 knots. That is a dang fast airplane. I mean, that's a really fast airplane. And a good-looking one. So, we should have the engine anti-ice on right now, though. Outside air temperature is +5, we are flying through clouds. If we had to handle it manually, I would absolutely turn it on at this point. I do, however, have a feeling that, of course, the automatics are not able to detect whether we're in clouds or not, so the airplane will have an ice detector fitted somewhere on the outside, and the ice detector detects the actual icing conditions, if there are any, and right now there probably just isn't any icing. And of course, if there is no icing, well, then the automatics can't know that anti-ice needs to go on, right? So, 7 miles to run and 7,000 feet to lose. Well, that is not gonna work, I can tell you that much. So that level of arrow over here is incorrect. Well, I'll tell you what though, the standard 11,000 foot restriction at Delta Fox 401 is a pretty low restriction anyway. So, we're just going to keep it like this. And we'll just keep it descending. And we just started receiving an identifier of an ILS. So it has probably actually auto-tuned it. Yep, 11135 246, that is correct. Well, or not. Well, 11135 is correct for 25 left, I do know that. Or rather for 25 right. Is it the frequency of the Zulu approach? ILS Zulu 25 right. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. It's tuned the wrong approach. You see, 25 right has two different ILS frequencies. There's one for the little bit steeper ILS Yankee approach, and then there is one for the ILS Zulu approach. The difference is that the Zulu approach has a 3-degree glide slope, while the Yankee approach has a 3.2 degree glide slope. That's done for noise abatement reasons, so nothing important if we violate it. But nonetheless, you know, interesting to see how the airplane has done this. So I'm not sure where it's getting its ILS frequencies from then. Probably not from the nav database. Maybe it's trying to read them out of the scenery and just took the first frequency that it could actually find, and that happened to be the Zulu one. Perhaps that is what happened? Maybe that's how the aircraft works internally? Not 100% sure. Well, in any case though, let's go ahead and manually tune the frequency for the Yankee approach. ILS Yankee 25 right. It's 109.75/246. Echo Hotel Oscar. No, should be ILS Frankfurt West right. Should be India Fox Whiskey Romeo, not Echo Hotel Oscar. But the 13 miles seem to be roughly correct if I'm looking at this. Well, we'll see about it. Maybe that stuff changes. Okay then, let's go down to 5,000. Set QNH. QNH 1012 cross-checked, passing 13,800 now. Checked. Okay, so idle climb 5,000. Let's help the plane getting down a little bit. Let's see, 1/3 of speed brakes. What effect does that have on our flight model? Wow, this is going down quickly. 3,800. Okay, no problem descending like that. No problem at all. Let me just try a direct just to the current inbound waypoint to see if that somehow fixes the vertical path. Okay, 0 high. No, looks like that is not really fixed, huh? Okay, well, not too much of a problem. We'll just keep it like that. Okay, reaching 10,000. The target speed just went down to 245 as we went through 10,000. I'm not sure how correct that is, because now you can see we are slightly violating the speed limit. Personally, don't really care too much if I'm honest, but you know, I'm sure some virtual airlines are going to care about stuff like that, so well, might have to keep that in mind when you are flying for a virtual airline. Okay, so let's go ahead and complete the descent and approach checklist, please. Altimeters 1012 cross-checked. Hydraulic panel, auto, exterior lights, on. Descent and approach checklist complete. Okay, so speed brakes are going up. Let's see how the aircraft is going to perform now. Basically 10,000 feet, around about 250 knots in idle thrust. That is kinda my standard way to test an aircraft performance. Most wide bodies are going to give you something in the region between, you know, about 1,500 feet a minute. I don't have any actual data on the MD-11, so I can't check how correct or not that is. But looking at this, 1,500, 1,600, roughly. That's a... Oh, oopsie. I pressed that button again. Let's just... Here we go. Autopilot is back on. So yeah, that descent rate over here, that does seem believable to me. Of course, the MD-11, as an aircraft that is known to be not very fuel efficient, might just have a slightly higher rate of descent than a more fuel efficient aircraft like the A330 or the 777. And actually, A330 gives you around about 1,000 feet a minute, the 777 roughly the same. So, well, I would say these numbers are definitely believable over here. Okay, so, heading. Let's see if we can extend the center line. Delta Fox 430, please. Okay. Intercept fix 430, course 246. Nah. Not really. Let's try that one more time. So Delta Foxtrot, let's make it 480, and maybe it's the opposite track, 066. Nah. Have to admit, not 100% sure what it's doing there. But doesn't seem completely right to me. Okay, let's do Delta Foxtrot 480 direct to math. Okay, reaching 5,000. Can we somehow force it to start slowing down on its own? Perhaps not. Oh, it is slowing down. Okay, that's cool. Well, in that case, flaps 1. Autopilot. Oops, I hit the wrong button once again. This is a little bit annoying with that little trim that it has in there. Okay, so, flaps 1. Speed checked. Or rather, slats extend. I'm not sure how the exact MD-11 callout would be. Doesn't matter too much either way. Okay, so the DME is correct to the ILS. The indications we'll see about, but if they are more or less correct, then I will ignore the incorrect ident, and I am going to intercept this. Okay, let's make it intercept course 220. We'll arm the approach mode, and then we'll see what is going to happen. Okay, let's go down 170 knots until 5 DME. That is what they usually give you in Frankfurt. Something like that. Okay, flaps 15. Well, I should probably have tuned this to the 15 position, my mistake. I'm not exactly flying this airplane every day. Here we go. Okay, localizer capture. But it's turning a little bit far, is it? And we do have flaps 15. And it's losing the localizer again. But it is slowly turning to correct. Glide slope's coming alive. Well, I don't like what the autopilot is doing there. Let's do the stuff ourselves. So fly direct off. That way at least we do get a little bit of hand flying experience on the plane as well. I will keep the auto thrust on though. Looks like the approach display is not implemented yet. Then we'll just stay on the map. Okay, we are visual, we're above the MSA, so we can slightly start our descent even before the localizer is recaptured. I am happy with that. Okay, that's the glide slope. Whoa, pretty aggressive when you manually push it down. Not sure why the thing is adding thrust. Well, auto thrust off. Okay, so it's a 3.2 degree glide. That means that it's a little bit steeper than what we're used to. Gear down. I do have to say it's been a little while since I've last flown this aircraft manually, and the flight dynamics have improved significantly here. They really have improved significantly. Look at that, we can fly it really precisely. Only the downwards elevator input seems a little bit strong for my taste, but then again, I have never flown an MD-11, so I cannot comment if that is like really completely realistic. Okay then, we'll give the speed control back to the FMS here. It says add drag, I don't quite agree with that, but well, flaps 28. Speed check, flap 28. So it looks like we just have a very slight aileron trim problem now. Actually, look at that, I'm completely off the controls and it's more or less flying straight. Honestly, you cannot expect the real aircraft to fly much better than this right now. Okay, flaps 35. Okay, before landing checklist. Landing gear, down 4 green, spoilers, armed, auto brake. Minimum, flaps, 35. Altimeters, 1012, set and cross-checked. And EAD, checked, before landing checklist complete. So, I do have to say flight dynamics are quite nice. I mean, again, I don't know how a real MD-11 flies, but this one is surely... it can be appreciated. Checked, and we are stable. I would certainly say this is believable. So let's see how the landing is going to look like now. That's definitely going to be the challenge of the day. Let's see if we are going to impact that runway or if we are going to make it a smooth one. Now usually when I say that, it's going to be an impact. But let's see about it.
500.
Checked.
400.
You can see what I'm doing on the control column at the bottom of the screen there. A little thermal over here.
300. Approaching minimum.
Okay, back on path. Checked.
200. Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum. 100. 50. 40. 30.
Okay, flare,
20,
idle,
10.
touchdown. Oh, that nose certainly should not come up. Okay, spoiler, reverse green. Well, decel, I guess. 100 knots. $80 knots. Let's go manual brakes, we'll take the next exit. Auto brake disarm. 60 knots. And here we are, welcome to Frankfurt. So I would say those landing performance predictions that we had were pretty accurate. Certainly in a believable range. Now let's try and not break the aircraft. Down to 10 knots and off we go to the left. Alright, we'll vacate that runway completely, and thereafter we're going to do the after landing procedures. Alright, here we go. So, spoilers are retracted, slats and flaps. Going up, weather radar and transponder. Off. And altitude off. Auto brake. Off, stabilizer trim. Should put that towards 3 units. That is gonna take a little while, it seems. Okay, so 3 units trim are set. Exterior lights. Set. Okay, so Papa up there is closed, so we'll make it a right-hand turn onto Papa 1 over here. And we're going to taxi over there. So, anti-ice is off, and then we'll have to start the APU. Which is coming up. Okay, last but not least, I would say the airplane is pretty much accelerating and idle very well, so let's shut down engine number 2. Here we go, number 2 going cutoff. That was certainly long enough for a cooling as well, so here we go. Well, then let's do the after landing checklist, please. So, air system 2 pressure low, that's expected. Okay, spoilers retracted, slat flaps. Up retracted, weather radar and transponder off and standby. Auto brake off, stabilizer trim 3 units nose up. Exterior lights set, anti-ice off, APU. Is the APU actually starting? Should have APU indications here, shouldn't we? Let's try that one more time. Now we do get APU indications. Well, let's say APU on after landing checklist completed. So a little bit of taxiing here, and then we have it. Just to give you a general idea, let's have a look at the airport chart. We've vacated the runway. We're currently over here in Papa 1. Now taxi is going to lead us across the northern cargo apron, down November, into November 13 to the Lufthansa cargo apron that's located right over here. Over here, there is a construction site on the bridge at the moment, so we can currently not taxi across here, which of course would have been the much quicker way to get to our parking stands, but, well, as real as it gets, isn't it? Nonetheless, I do think we can do a first feedback of the TFDI MD-11 at the moment. So overall, I do have to say this was quite an enjoyable flight. Obviously, it does have bugs at the moment, but let's be honest over here. We did have some, but there were no really significant bugs in there. Overall, the aircraft did perform pretty nicely. Obviously, it might just be down to my experience as a beta tester, since I'm testing in flight simulation for, well, almost 15 years now. So, obviously, I don't have too many problems if things just don't go exactly right, because I'm rather used to it. But nonetheless, I do have to say the airplane did perform pretty nice, and I do think I can keep my previous statement on the MD-11 valid. Now, when the Collector's Edition first came out for, well, Collector's Edition owners, I said that back then, well, it would take them about a year or something to turn it into a great aircraft. Now that's been approximately half a year ago, and I do have to say that looking at where the airplane is right now, they're certainly on track for that. I'm not 100% sure how long it's going to take until the aircraft can really be released to the entire public. I mean, there are some things in there like the VNAV that didn't work that really should be working reliably when you release an airplane like this to the public, but a lot of the stuff that was there actually did work pretty fine. So I think I can definitely keep up my previous statement. In about half a year or something, this is going to be quite a good aircraft. Now, quite a good, I don't think it's going to reach like Phoenix or PMDG level, but it doesn't have to. I mean, the way they are doing this right now seems to be pretty okay to me. I think it's reaching a decent system depth over here, and overall reaching a good level of quality. Now, certainly some things can still see improvement, there is absolutely no doubt about that, but for the major part of the operation, I would say that we can absolutely agree that the airplane is coming together pretty well. Okay. So with that out of the way, now remains our last task, and that is actually getting our aircraft to our parking stand. So we're going to make a right-hand turn onto November over here, and then again a left-hand turn to make our way towards the Lufthansa stands. And maybe we can just turn the flight director back on already, so that the next crew is not going to forget about those. A little bit of nose wheel skidding here, as you can see. We could probably just have parked over here as well, but we'll just keep going to the standard Lufthansa cargo stands here. It's not gonna cost us too much time, is it? Okay, so let's see, our APU is running, and this time it's at 100% and 1 as well, so we should be ready for shutdown in a few moments, as soon as we reach our gate. So let's see, parking stands west, that's probably where it's on. Yep, over here it is. That's where we're gonna park. Well, make it over here, Fox 212. It's gonna be next to the left. So, Lufthansa Cargo, that is what we want to read. Okay, taxi light is off. So, next to the right. Sometimes I have a feeling the airplane just doesn't want to enter a turn properly. I mean, not 100% sure what that's about, but, well. So, pulling the power off already, we don't want to gain too much speed. But here we are, that is looking rather nice. Okay, well, I overestimated how far forward we would sit in front of the nose wheel. But anyway, here we are. Okay, parking brake is set, APU generator is selected on. Okay then, engines 1 and 3 are going off. Running down nicely. So, seatbelts off, APU bleed on, external lights, the beacon can come off, and emergency power selector into off. Okay, well, I'm gonna park the airplane over here so the IRSs can go off already, and then it's time to do the shutdown checklist. Or the parking checklist. Anti-ice, off, hydraulic panel, auto, fuel switches, off, seatbelts off, fuel panel auto, emergency power off, exterior lights set, parking brake is set, IRS off, and system display status reviewed. Parking checklist complete. Right guys, and there we have it. That's the TFDI MD-11 for you, my friends. I do hope that you enjoyed the little view into how the progress is going with this aircraft, and personally I really have to say that my judgment from our taxi in certainly holds up. The airplane is coming along very nicely. Honestly, in my opinion, it takes about the amount of time that I would expect for a project like this to take from the state where it got first released to collector's edition owners. So, some people are complaining about delays. Honestly, all I can say is that it takes about the amount of time that I have witnessed with other products in a state like this to take, and I'm very positive that the airplane is on a very good track over here, and that in, half a year or something we'll have a good release version. So release version meaning like no major bugs in it, and, you know, then give them another half a year, up to a year or something, to polish it, and then, you know, in a year and a half or something, I'm pretty sure that we are going to have a very nice final and finished product over here. But, again, I do believe that it's not quite ready for the public release yet. I mean, otherwise it would be released, of course. But I do believe it is on a very good track to get there in the, well, next couple of months or something. I don't really want to give an estimate there. I'll leave that over to the guys at TFDI, and they know their product better than I do. But for sure what I can say is that it is coming together nicely and approximately at the pace that I would really expect for a project like this, based on my past, you know, 15 or something like that years of experience with flight simulator betas. So thank you very much everyone for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below. I'm very much looking forward to what you have to say about this one. And if you're a collector's edition owner, be sure to share your experience with the product in the comments below. And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're up for more. And if you really like what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.